Hi everyone, in today's video I'm showing you why I believe it's a great idea to make short indie games instead of spending years on a single project. This isn't a new idea. Over the past year I have heard many game developers mentioning this. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time through my own experience as a writer and following many other authors. First, let's talk about why making short games can be a good approach. I've noticed many authors making a full-time living by writing a high volume of books. The selling price of each book is a lot lower than games, like €2 for an ebook, 4 cents a page in KU, and print and audiobooks are a lot lower too. So with these low margins, they're still constantly making a living, and this is done because they're constantly releasing new content and fast. We can learn from this as game developers. If authors can create many books fast, why can't we make shorter games more frequent? I know game development is very complex and it's a lot harder than writing, but it's not impossible to make shorter games. If someone can make a game jam project in a week, then creating a short game within a few months is doable, especially if you're reusing assets and building on what you learned. The beauty of short games is that you aren't relying on one huge launch event. You're not depending on Steam to push a game to the top during a single launch week. Instead, you have multiple opportunities throughout the year to get the game seen. You're giving yourself more chances to connect to YouTubers, streamers, and gamers who might pick up your work. Now, when you're making shorter games, essentially you're building up a portfolio. You're not putting all your eggs into one basket, hoping that one game will be a hit. Instead, by having multiple projects, you have more opportunities to gain visibility, get feedback, and increase your sales. With each game, you're refining your skills, learning from your past mistakes, and building a fan base. To put this into perspective, imagine releasing 3 to 6 games in 2 years, instead of one massive game that takes the same amount of time to complete. This means you have 6 chances for your game to be discovered, reviewed, and played. If one doesn't take off, then the next might. Players who enjoy one game might check out the others, building a loyal audience over time. My strategy is to focus on making short indie horror games that form part of a series. The series is called Separated by Nightmares. Each game stands alone, meaning players can jump in at any point without needing to play the previous. This way, I'm not relying on one game to build my brand. Instead, I will have multiple opportunities to engage players, refine my skills, and get my work noticed. And also by adding a very subtle theme that everything is not as it seems, but making it very subtle. This might encourage people to play the rest of my games, but I'm making this very subtle because I want people to feel like they're playing a standalone game, and it won't avoid them playing that game because they haven't played the previous. My first game will be connected and my last game will be connected. The rest of the games will be standalone and with a theme that's very subtle that something is different behind the scenes. And hopefully this will encourage people to play my games and my previous games and my future games in the series. From my experience, relying on a single launch event is risky. When I released my book, The Swords of the Unforgotten Marys, I learned that depending on one platform to promote it was a big mistake. It didn't gain much traction and still doesn't, and I don't want to repeat that with my games. That's why I'm taking a different approach with game development, focusing on short, standalone projects that can help build my brand and fan base over time. I don't expect my first 2 games to do very well. I'm hoping by 3 I'll start to see attraction in my games and my sales by game 3. So if you're a game developer, consider making shorter games. It's less risky, it's less stressful, and it gives you more chance to learn and grow and do better. Plus, it's easier to build a consistent income over time when you have multiple games available. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in seeing more about my journey, consider subscribing to my channel and pressing the like button if it's there. Also, check out my free planner on how to publish a game. This can be free to download if you subscribe to my newsletter. And of course, if you want to just get the planner and unsubscribe, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to stay around in my newsletter for more additional tips, that'd be amazing. And if you're curious about my game series, it's called Separated by Nightmares. It's available on Steam, and feel free to wishlist. It'll help me out dramatically. Also, I wrote a book on how to set up a YouTube channel. If you want to make a channel like what I'm doing, giving you insights, or even just make a channel to share your game development journey and hope to get more viewers and interest, more traffic to your page. All these details are in the description below. Once again, I want to say thank you so much for listening to my video. I hope you found these tips helpful. Hopefully you do consider Makeshift Games, as I think overall it's a lot better and less risky to do than making one game that takes years to develop. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.